time I used it. Yeah, that's all from Tuesday. It's I don't know. And I tried to update the title tonight and I couldn't quite get it, so I don't know. I guess if I'd worry about it more if it was more my main channel, but
Yeah. Well, said you had 3 viewers. So.
yeah. Well, still now I'm down to 2. I don't know.
All right. Going. Right?
Well, we're gonna finish this, and then we gotta finish the hay project too.
I wondered that.
Um,
Let's see, because we
yeah,
got to do some
yeah. It
layout.
won't be hard. It'll just be that you kind of need to know where we're going with it.
Got a rake.
I got it. You can see the tractors with the loaders on them. I got it set up over there.
Yeah, I
And then
saw something like that.
once we get that done, all we have left, we'll start disking these fields and start getting them ready to turn over.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll have a few. And I did a teeny bit of.
Yeah.
Thank you, Saw.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There should be at least. Seems like it should be at least about one guy in. Maybe. That's interesting that that just tells you the kick really isn't or wasn't ready for prime time if the chat doesn't clear out the last
Yeah.
stream. I mean, that's funny thing is uh um it didn't show like a timestamp. That's what I'm. So I thought, oh, maybe they upped in. It was an off night and kick and all.
Nope. That was on July 4th because I
Oh, I
streamed
wondered.
before I came down. I since it was an off stream, I actually started at 7:30 and I quit at 9:30
Okay.
instead of 8 to 10. I pushed it up a half an hour.
Got it. Well, yeah. Anyway, well, I mean, you can't hit because you're own deal, but got my lizard shirt on and my hat.
Yeah, I can see it. I got you on TV.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had the video.
Yeah, when we do these, I watch you on TV, and then
Okay.
I got an extra laptop that I run my kick on, and I've got my phone that I run the YouTube on.
Well, and that's the thing. And I say this about every stream. I need to get I need to get just even if it's a crappier second monitor, put it. Well, what I'd have to do is I'd have to look up, actually, but that'd be unless I get one where I can do it vertically and chat I could have either side of me. That's the last bit of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The truck's over
Oh,
here.
okay, I see it. It just wasn't loaded in.
No.
Far away. It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll finish the silage tonight. Or at least get it. I mean, not finish it, but collect it so that the machine can make it, and then we'll start turning these fields over.
There we go. That's just days ago.
Yeah, but you won't. Unfortunately, can't ride in this truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't ride doubles. Where do you want to park the
I
combines?
don't.
Just the end of this field for
Just
now?
leave it there. Just leave it there. It won't take me because I just got to
Traffic.
run this to the farm, and the farm's over here. It'll just be a little bit of dead time, but not long.
Oh, that's okay. I'll go hop in. Oh, they're not balers. Call these.
They're called loading wagons, and I got them lined up. You just load them. Dude, don't I have the? I don't have the silage thing over here. You just turn them on, and set the feeder down or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and it'll start collecting. And you'll have to be pretty close on the line. These won't go outside of them, so
Okay.
you got to stay on your line. And then we'll have I gotta get it yet, but we'll have a thing over here that ferments it. While we do the other field work, and
I
what
know
I'm
back in the
planning on
day
doing is selling it.
used to press it and I can, used to press it, and I think they used to hammer it.
Of hay?
No, no, pressing silage.
Oh,
You were saying silage.
yeah, yep.
Silage
I
press.
didn't.
And
I
I
didn't.
forget, it was just to make some kind of spread or
That doesn't sound very good.
yeah, I don't know. I saw a demo one time when I was a kid at a threshing bee. I'd never heard it. A couple people can't tell you where you're watching, but shout out in the chat there.
All right, I'm behind you now.
Must have been a row. The little weavy. There we go, Kevin Jones. I remember you. You've been a long time subscriber. Thanks for joining in. I know it's not motorcycle content, but we talk about a lot of things motorcycling. We talk about our old racing days. In here sometimes because I got Skull Crusher with me. One of my teammates used to race ATV. Sport ATV.
Well, and we also talk Supercross or motocross. Although we haven't talked motocross so much yet this
Yeah,
season.
and just with our schedules, I've missed the races. I heard the deal about Cooper Webb, and
Yeah, that was
a little out of the ordinary. Yes, it is Farm Sim MX Bean. I believe you're a subscriber of mine.
yep, FS22.
Yeah. Oh, we're on PC, both of us. Okay, I'm full. What am I doing with it?
Okay, just wait. I'm right behind you, and then you can follow me over to see where you need to go.
Okay. I have
It'll
not
just be
done this
easier
one.
to show you.
We're on PC Master Race. We got some mods. This is the Welker app, and
Yeah, alright. Follow me. I'm gonna take you the short way. If you want to miss the lines the next time, that's fine, but I'm gonna take you the short way.
that's fine. We don't have crop damage turn.
No. Well, you'd just be
We're not
compacting
playing
the...
ultra realistic like I was over the weekend. Or I shouldn't say over the weekend, a couple days ago.
Yeah, but you couldn't change the rules the way you were this
No.
weekend.
No. And of course it
you don't
rained, so it shut
you
us
don't have
down.
you don't have those kind of settings.
Exactly. And it rained, so it shut us
Change.
down. All the wheat's on the ground. All the wheat's on the ground now.
Oh jeez.
Speaking of that, MX Beans, hopefully if you followed some, I need to make some community posts on YouTube. But hopefully you've seen shorts.
But yeah, that's where we dump it in, so that we just need to collect this whole field.
Guess I'm kind of missing right, but it's taking it. Okay. See, I'm sporting Lizard shirt. I might talk a little bit about it, the story behind it. Oh, well, kind of speaking a couple days ago. So, obviously you made it home just fine, but
Yeah, it
was it
was
bad for the was the rain and whatever
well, I
bad?
was probably lucky. I was lucky when I left because um I got about a mile out of town there and it just started downpouring. And
Yeah.
then I got a few miles down the road and it kind of let up a little bit, but it got a little scary in Elma because the wind was really whipping the rain there.
Well, that's the thing.
And
It was just visibility, like you couldn't see to the end of the backyard. That's how heavy it was raining.
then I got a few miles north of Elma there and then things
Well, and I
let
forgot
up.
to tell you, but I mean, I figure you knew, you know, if it was too bad and you needed to turn around or whatever, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't hail though. Hail.
No, I think the only thing that was really with it was the wind, but I was a little worried that you with that kind of wind it could have been like tornadic.
Yeah, well, I was wondering. I didn't I didn't hear that there was any tornadoes or touchdowns.
No, but when I was coming back, um, when I was on the northern edge of the storm, you could see the clouds really moving to the east, but thankfully there was nothing going to the west because there was a spot or two that I was kind of worried about, but
You
but
just
it
got some.
it wasn't swirling. But
Yeah, that's good.
man, it was sure had a lot of wind to her. And I kind of hem and hawed about leaving a little bit earlier, and I maybe should have, but
Well, I I was wondering, but I thought, well, it just seemed like, oh well, it should you know, it should like miss us or
well, it is just kind of weird because it was kind of staying to the south of us for so long, and then all of a sudden it just kind of filled in,
yeah. Well, that's the thing I was watching because it was all east and south, just but not too
and
much
then all of a
north.
sudden, it was north of us, and then it filled in to the west.
Yeah.
I guess that one to the north of us that formed though. I guess that was they had warnings on that one.
Not surprised. Well, I'm glad you made it all right, but yeah, I mean, we picked up our stuff just in just in time, and
Yeah.
folks were still. I mean, they had everything covered up, and they were back at the farm, and um, but they had to drive back through. But they said they could only see like 10 feet in front of them
Oh.
as they were driving. I mean, I guess
You
you were
know,
kind of
when I was going west, I mean, I had to slow down a little bit, but it wasn't like so bad that I couldn't see. I just had to run the
well.
wipers
See,
really
they were
fast,
about
and
20 minutes or so later hitting home.
oh
So it had
well,
already
really
kicked. It had already kicked up.
it must
Oh,
have really picked up then.
well, it did. Like I said, you couldn't hardly see to the edge of the backyard there.
And then up here, yeah, we didn't have anything. It all stayed south of us.
Well, that's what it seemed like because you could see that it was light, kind of to the north and west.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more my dad got done that, but don't know if he's able to get back in the field. Maybe today if it did.
I don't know if it rained down there, but I when I got to work, I got a block away from work and it started downpouring. And then it um must have rained for about half an hour or something like that. And then it stopped. But it stayed cloudy all day, and even this afternoon, even though it wasn't raining this afternoon, that you could tell there was you could tell the clouds were puffed up like they were holding rain. Oh, I guess this is kind of farm related. I guess this morning in it's called Shelby, Nebraska. It's kind of I think it's kind of south of Columbus.
Yeah, I
They had a lightning strike an elevator and injured about 6 guys.
huh, that's pretty rare.
Yeah. And the crazy part was they didn't I mean they don't that someone I think it was on someone's home cam. They actually caught the lightning strike because they were roughly a mile away, but it just happened to catch the lightning strike.
Well, I saw Facebook Dale Ritter, I don't know who, shared a picture somebody got lightning strike over the kind of and rainbow like over the lake.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
oh, putting the chickens away. Downpouring again? Okay, it's raining some more, but now it's downpouring here.
Uh,
I mean,
well, last night they had, I think it was tornadoes northern part of Colorado. The
yeah.
storm chasers have the storm chasers have been there the last few days. I think they're there again tonight.
Oh, the storm chaser you watch?
Yeah, well, not just that one. All of them, like a lot of them, like Reed Timmer's even up there.
Okay, I was gonna say I couldn't remember his name, but that's yeah, that's who I.
The guy that was from Discovery Channel,
Yeah,
one of the guys that was on Discovery Channel.
yeah.
Yeah, he was up there yesterday. I think he's chasing today up there still. But yeah, they're all um they're all up there. I went up there yesterday. Of course, the one guy I follow, this is a different guy than the one I was telling you about. He's a friend of his. That's how I
I
know
see.
of him too. But he's from Colorado, so he really doesn't have to go too far to chase.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you live in tornado,
Yeah, I think the guy that the guy from around here, I think that's probably one of the good things about him being around here is because he's kind of in the middle, sort of, not quite, but he's kind of in the middle, so he can pretty much go anywhere he needs to go if he needs to chase. The only time he really has to plan trips is when he goes down to Texas, but
let's see. Speaking of that, did you ever get to like Hastings or something to see the IMAX movie? No, that was years ago.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
I mean I
because
saw it too out here, but
yeah, I went to it because Carney was in it.
yeah, that's
They
I guess where I
used
was
some of the
going.
footage from that one, so I wanted to watch it
Well,
because
yeah,
I was on the eastern edge of that storm.
yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, I was not the Tiv or the Dominator, but the satellite trucks that were following the Tiv around. I ran into those. Uh, they were coming into town as I was leaving that day.
Yeah. Only thing that
Uh,
kind of was a little disappointing about uh, that movie is he. I thought he had it set up so the camera could just be there and rolling the whole, like when the eye and everything hit, but like got to the point it was there, and you know they had to pull the hatch or
yeah.
like. I mean, maybe there wasn't maybe there wouldn't be not much to, but because there's so much
Well,
dirt and stuff blowing around when you're right in it. But I guess there was a
um,
little. Uh, that was the only
yeah. Well,
mildly
I
dis.
mean, he did that with the IMAX camera. It's like
Well, I
you
know, and
can,
those things are huge and well expensive too.
yeah.
You got the
Well,
film.
and the film's
I,
expensive.
I guess I get it, but I thought that was the whole point of the Trek and how he built it is he could be able to have it like in like a little turret so it could see out, but be protected.
Yeah. Um.
But still, it was re- really neat. I mean,
No, I think Reed has gotten, since that movie has been made, has gotten better footage with
oh
GoPros
well,
being.
probably. I mean, it was before GoPros were really a thing,
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, I'm sure people have
Yeah.
done it, but I just remember seeing either on one of the shows or dude, it might have been even like MythBusters. They had both of those guys on
Yeah,
there,
because they were testing to see how well they'd
and
actually stand up
you could
to
tell the
the wind.
the Tiv guy, whatever his, uh, just had a better had a better vehicle. Probably had more money
Yeah.
to throw at it, of course, but had sort of a better setup for really literally getting hit by it. The other one was just like a cattle, like a avalanche or Escalade, just
Well,
armored.
he has four of them. I know one of them was a Ford Explorer. I don't
Yeah,
know if they
but I
all
mean
are,
back
but
then both of them only had one thing, one vehicle. They didn't have backup. I mean, I know a lot's different now, but
yeah.
the other guy built it on like I want to say either a Ford or a Dodge, like medium duty truck chassis. So I mean, able to carry the weight, already a heavy duty vehicle, and as far as the frame and everything, so he could armor it up and not have to worry about the vehicle is already heavier built
Well, and
from a
I've
chassis.
seen I've seen that one in person before, because that was the day of Redline's wedding. I was coming through Beatrice, and
Well, it did
that was
storm.
another one. I was going east and they were going west, and the storm was coming at us, and I'm like, well, I guess at least he's going the opposite direction.
Yeah. Well, you remember it did storm for that,
Yeah, it
afterwards.
did that night, and I remember at one point in time we were going outside, and we're watching the clouds swirl above us where we were at.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I remember things about that whole weekend and Trek, but I don't remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the the bachelor party, and then oh yeah, then the storm and water skiing. We were over and sunburned, and I changing the subject, but it's like, man, I don't think I could do. I don't think I could. Well, I know I couldn't do that or survive that kind of thing anymore.
I could survive it,
Well,
but
I mean
then it would be
survive,
like
but I
it'd
mean
be
I
like
just couldn't
it's several
rebound.
days afterwards that you have to recoup from it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, we were tired and all that, but it was like, I still drove all the way home, and that 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, today it would be, yeah, take take several days to recover from that kind of
Yep.
thing.
I can handle rough one, maybe two drinks anymore, but you get going beyond that, and I'm a hurting person.
Well, and that's why I I have very little desire to go like to any concerts and stuff because it's just well, the aftermath. Even if I don't drink, as far as that goes, hearing
Oh, yeah.
that might have been a contributing factor over the years too. Eh, and part, I guess, part of the whole, I just the hassle of getting there. Well, depends on the venue. Getting there, getting in, getting out.
Yeah.
But that's pretty venues. Like remember we went to the Fillmore and all that downtown and all that. Like now I would be like, hey, I'm not, to play, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that was super safe when we were doing it either, but it seemed to
No.
work.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, the last concert I went there was that Megadeth concert, and I remember coming out of that one. There was a group of us that were in the hotel like up the street a block, and we were just kind of like we looked at all looked at each other, and there was like 10 of us, and we're like, "Are you going that way?" And they're like, everybody was like, "Yep," and they're like, "All right, we're all staying in a group."
Yeah, strength in numbers. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well, I think did we talk about this last on stream? But a couple weeks back now. But I forget who was playing, but at Red Rocks, um, there was and of course that's not very far away from the house, but we didn't get
Yeah.
a thing. But there was, I don't know, baseball sized hail at times. It kind of injured people, but they were out there. I mean, there's no shelter, no way to get out, no way to get to your, in a quick fashion.
Yeah.
Got pelted and cars. I think like 12 people had minor injuries. They had to seek medical attention. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody got hard. They knocked them down or
Well, and
yeah.
the thing I'd worry about with that is getting hit upside the head because
Well, that's
you
what I
get
mean. I
hail
mean,
that big, hail that big, it's jagged. It's not a round
well,
ball
that's what I
that's
mean. They
coming
needed
at you.
medical attention. I don't think anything was like life threatening, but I think yeah, people had some lacerations. Definitely, I think
I
most
can
of them.
remember I can remember the softball size hail that hit Kearney. Um, I got home because I was at the gym when it hit, and I got home and happened to find a hailstone still out in front of my apartment, and I picked it up out of the ground, and it was shaped like a snow cone. And when it hit, it had turned itself around, so the pointy end, or maybe that's the way it came down, but the pointy end went into the ground, so all you saw was the top of the ball.
Oh,
I was like, I couldn't imagine that hitting somebody.
yeah, but it was so crazy because um like I said, we it was all dark that direction. Such like, man, it must be doing it, but it was doing nothing, and it wasn't even that windy at the house. It was so localized.
Yeah,
Fortunately, past 10 years, lucky house and other parts of got gotten had serious damage.
yeah, yep.
I get here. a little bit my connection. Probably because I got not only Discord, I got watching you on phone. If there's anybody chatting in your chat, and
Well, it could be we're cloudy here, and I'm
well, that's right, you're
satellite
hosting too.
based, so
But I'm also watching the bit rate on my OBS. It when it does that, it drops down. So it's a little bit on my might be a little. Normally, where I have it set, it's 50 5,400 kilobytes a second, and it dropped to like 700. Substantial drop. And like I said, the range shouldn't really, and on cable, affect me. For some reason, it kind of can. Rarely
yeah.
do actually. I can't really think many outages other than kind of recently, up for not overnight, but I think after that lightning strike. I think I texted you somewhere. Had to been somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You saw the light and no delay. But other than that, gosh, maybe once a year, flip for like 20, 30 minutes, it's off.
Hmm.
And I mean, maybe there's others, and it usually
Yeah.
gives a notification down. Rarely ever, like I said, stations. Like your line of
The
sight,
only
like your line of sight thing is a little more susceptible.
this year I think they wisened up because well, either that or they had problems a lot earlier this year because there was a time I can't remember if it was back in March. Things weren't quite running right. Maybe it was April. And then they said they were gonna fix things. I was like, well, that's kind of weird because it's awful early. But they usually just before the fourth, like a week or two before the fourth, I have problems. And this year, I did a little bit, but not near as bad as what I have had in the past. And so I kind of wonder if they didn't kind of learn from the last few years and kind of stayed on it a little bit better.
Yeah, all the because the extra town or the area taxes. I mean, it's just like cell towers.
Yeah.
Holiday weekends, down there by the lake, you can't barely. I mean, it's gotten better over the years. Almost there was times where you basically could.
Yeah.
Because the tower, all couple of towers that's around and just
Yeah.
kind of speaking of that, dad's dad's an volunteer fireman, and really a lot of calls. Normally his radio, his pagers go off all the time. Not in the field, of course. Oh, there was in town like a couple streets back, major normally time problems,
Yeah.
somebody getting hurt. Really wasn't much. Now, granted, the state patrol is later years don't hear all the checks for by or moving violations. Used to have the scanner in my car and driving around. Used to just have that on. Listen, the time Becker, Bonnie, you know, checking. It's like about every 15 minutes they're checking somebody out, radio
Yeah.
on something. It's always some you know when they read the plate number, plate number 9, then it's a Carney, or 1 or 3 letters, so it's Lincoln or Omaha. But it honestly didn't seem quite as busy
Well,
years past.
and I know the 4th was on Tuesday this year,
But
so that
even the
had something to
weekend.
do to because even up here in Holdridge, when I came back, I was like, okay, well now I'm gonna have to listen to the fireworks, and really there wasn't that many going off on Tuesday night. There's a few, but really wasn't as bad as it is some
Yeah,
years. Just
I was there Friday to weekend and stuff, and we went to town, did Dodge sale stuff, and went down to Franklin, some stuff. But then went in pool, took the kids to the pool 2 days, and I mean, it was there were people there, but I wouldn't call it full by any
yeah,
stretch of the imagination. I kind of did, and then Katie's were like aunt. They were camped at Methodist, and of course the campground was full. But normally driving low road to get over there because we and wasn't hardly any traffic there, and the highway wasn't. Would be either people were kind of being smart and staying put, and our campsites along the lake did have dinner one night out at North Shore, and that's speaking of that, they really fixed that up nice, flood and everything,
yeah,
and it's a nice dining experience. I mean, it's a deal where you order and then they bring it to your table. Good food. I mean, quality wise, I mean, rivals what you get out here at a specialty limited menu type place. They got different burgers. They got fish and chips, street taco, that. But
yeah,
it definitely, put it this way, better than, like, I know it's closed, but better than like the station
yeah,
down to Franklin Black Powder. Yeah, I mean it was. I mean it's for the area pricey, but it's not out of line. I mean they, their hamburger and choice of uh, onion crisps, thing,
mhm,
fries, which aren't like traditional French fries. I get almost like a twisted, eh? Not like a curly fry. It kind of looks like a spiral, I guess.
oh,
And was that, and it was a good portion, that something like you'd get at Red Robin. I guess that's kind of what it was like something you get at Red Robin, like $11. I mean, a little up there again for the area, but given the atmosphere and quality, well with it. But they also have a nice bait shop in there and in store, like it's got better convenience items than like shortstop and bar. I mean, I understand they're right on the lake, but it has better than Island or the other. Like if you forgot,
Yeah.
I mean, just what I thought was interesting is things like, and the prices weren't out of line on this kind of stuff, but like, okay, dog leash and collars, okay, yeah, get your leash, your breaks or whatever, and need another one. Well, they got it there. I don't know where else you'd get it locally if you absolutely needed something like that. I mean, not gonna make or break you, but think about it. If you came from Hastings, whatever, and you got the dog and all that, and can't tie it up because you either got it or happened. Just little stuff like
I
that.
think
I thought I
I
noticed.
think the only other saver in that case would have been Dollar General.
Yeah,
They might
yeah, but then you'd have to
it.
go
Probably.
clear up to Alma, or no, to go clear up to Alma and all that. I mean, I guess it was just, and then they had their own branded merch, like a lot of it, been good stuff, quality. Like actually, I almost bought one of their t-shirts, that nice, like soft, fabric kind of, and then all kinds of hats, get to the flat bill to the, and like I said, quality looking. Like I almost like I need another hat, but quality looking and not, not say it, not dorky. Okay, better, way better than like most seed, you get at places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, the icy machine, of course, drink frozen drinks and mixed drinks, and then they had the outdoor patio area. And, I mean, way better than when it even Little Mex original built it. Yeah, so we did that, and that was a pleasant surprise. It They had all kinds of pizzas, toppings. It was hopping.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a life for you. For some reason that way, and it's open. They shut down on the, you know there. You want something different. I mean, it's a little out of the way, but that way
Well, we
it's
actually.
worth going to, so you can sit outside, and they had other appetizers,
Yeah.
or if you just wanted to drink. I mean, buy food. Like it's actually something that could be, a destination plan to go to. I mean, a bit like
Mm-hmm.
comes to mind is like the Speakeasy, middle of nowhere, but people, make a trip. This
Well, and
they've on
that place has gotten so busy. I think you have to call to make reservations
yeah,
now.
and we almost were going to do it because I was a kid that I
Last time I went there was when they were serving food for during the pandemic. You called out
Okay.
there and placed your order, and then I ran out there, and there was people coming in from Lex just they'd call place their order from Lex,
Oh,
and which is like an hour drive for them by the time they got there.
wow. Well, I guess that's how I put up what they've done at North. Kinda, it would kind of be worth the drive for the entire food and the experience.
Yeah.
It's good enough. Well, I mean, just like down there, drive the drive to Kearney to go to what's up there.
Yep.
It's almost kind of like that, I'd say. Yeah, that's the thing. It never good. Well, and even I was gonna say, into that kind of stuff in town in Alma there, Main Street. But it's in the old donut shop.
Yeah, Main Street
But
Pizza.
yeah, Main Street Pizza, and they make good pizza. They make a I like Reuben sandwiches. They make a Reuben pizza, and it's really good. Although they were all out of the ingredients, so I couldn't have that. But regular pizza, good. And having better than pizza, big pizza,
Yeah.
a good, you know, gourmet like pizza.
There's a really good one up in Kearney now called Billy Jack's. And they even I don't know what all allergy they do take care of. I just know that um they do cater to gluten free.
And I don't need, but necessarily me personally, but that's probably good for other
Yeah, it's really good pizza.
because like the Main Street deal, I just like when I had a regular pizza cheese and
Yeah.
honestly, but Bojo's out here is the only one that offers dairy free cheese. One that I a lot of brands had. Yeah, I'm thinking of we used to do buck burgers. Oh no, that was good. Really didn't have a lot of good choices. I mean, there was Bugby's okay, but that's greasy spoon stuff.
Yeah.
Again, there's actually some either actually nice options,
Yeah.
and I've heard good things about the I don't know who runs it. It's not anybody we local, but Hobby Kitchen. But I guess the thing is, like they make a certain thing a day, and they till it sells out.
Well, that's what
But I guess
we've
it's
got that
really
up
good.
here.
It's
We
good stuff, like just thrown together. Like and that's of course his market and area. But like Mark's down there is he's basically a bug beast,
Yeah.
type of. But then he does his bar.
Yep.
I If he could be in Alma, he'd be doing all right. Not enough people, just not enough people, really. I think he's basically got the
Yeah.
whole town, and that's just barely enough to keep it going. You know, my folks, I've there for occasionally dinner. Tired. Mostly, I think, like on the.
Yeah.
He's basically Bugby's Franklin,
Yeah.
and I haven't even been into AJ. Last time I was there, last time I was
Last
there, it
time I
was
was last fall.
last time I was there was like it was gone down. I mean, it was edible, but I mean, it was pretty slapped together. Right? But I was thinking, like the school lunch, like we used. I most of the time, ate the school lunch. Occasionally, Buckburger. Well, now they got a couple of choices, like we used to do, get together, but like pool your money and get a they'd call it in early and go get it or eat it.
Yeah.
Shortstop staple from Dr. Pepper.
Well, it was for me too, but
And look,
I literally I could not eat school food, and I literally in the 7th and 8th grade did not eat lunch. Um, and then later on, one of the teachers, she came up to me afterwards, and she goes, because I used to get sick on it. I like literally sick on it, and she goes, we just had another kid that come through, and they acted just the same way that you did. She goes, I wonder if you didn't have food allergies to something they had in it,
it
and we just didn't know it at the time.
it's
And they kept the thing was they kept forcing me to try to they kept forcing me to eat it
well, I mean that's the thing,
because
Of
they
course,
never really thought about food allergies back then.
well, exactly, and I don't. Well, and my allergy, it just was never bad enough that I thought anything of it. I mean, that's the thing. Until I got to college, that um, shoot, uh, I just got. But even then, it was kind of like got food poisoning, or then it got every time, and kind of spoke up to the family doctor. Wonder if it's this. Well, only really way to do is cut it out and see how you feel, and then after a couple weeks or a good period of time where no incident thing, and then try it and you have a reaction.
Yeah,
Sort of doing an actual like allergy test. I still never have done that, but kind of figured it out on my own after that sort of revelation. But thinking about
yeah,
school food, there, every times maybe I was not the thing. I just thought it was kind of almost kind of normal, but sometimes I'd feel a little. It wasn't like queasy or anything like that. I mean, hell, I'd eat lunch and then we had two a days or football practice afterwards and all that. If I was that sick, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that. So again, it
yeah.
was just mild enough that I just
Well, mine was more of once I got it out of my stomach, I was good to go.
well,
You
and
know,
see when mine got severe enough. Well, it didn't even hardly make it into the stomach, and it was coming back out.
yeah.
but but
Well,
before that, it would run itself through, but it wasn't like I guess I couldn't say that I was always sick, but sometimes it'd be a little like, logy, or you hear the term food coma, so it's kind of okay, just a lot of calories, and that cool food we have is calories and sodium and that kind of stuff. So again, just kind of chalked it up to, well, this isn't high quality stuff, so you know,
Yeah.
body kind of doesn't. But it wasn't like debilitating, I guess. So well, that's why I didn't think a whole lot, and probably same way you, it wasn't necessarily like debilitating, but it was enough that just like, okay, I'm just gonna what I know doesn't make me feel like this. But you didn't think,
Yeah.
oh, it's specifically something in the food.
Well, and for me, it might have not have been it might have not have been the food. It might have been something as simple as it was the grease. And the reason why I
Right.
say that is like,
Right.
I'm not allergic to it anymore because they must have changed it. But there for a while, Burger King was using a certain type of grease, and I was
Well,
allergic of it
no,
too,
I
and it
know.
was the same reaction.
Well, and I know what you're saying there, because um, I almost oh, don't eat any fast food except for when we're traveling because it's
Yeah.
sort of what's there. But and I'm staying away on my allergens, but even just having, quote, safe uh things at a fast food, I again I get the feeling, like, now that I think back, I get the kind of probably the same feeling you probably got, but a little bit with the cool food. But when I had just the mild dairy allergy, and from that, I think it's just I'm not used to eating. My body's not used to eating such like high fat processed foods. Like I'm talking like a McDonald's, Wendy's.
Yeah.
For some reason, runs are really, and I get the runses. For some reason, runs, it doesn't seem to have that action. Like McDonald's, I just get chicken nuggets and stuff.
Yeah.
It's it doesn't set quite well. I wouldn't say I get sick or anything, but it's just don't feel the same as eating another regular meal, like cooked, or even going out to a like a more sit down quality restaurant.
Yeah.
Mid tier, like a Chili's. I guess when I say that, I'm talking like Chili's. I don't feel this way. Even Wendy's, I just we just Katie doesn't like Burger King either. Taste of whatever they do, the char grill or whatever, and it could be the kind of
Yeah.
Greek fries. I don't.
Well,
Doesn't
it,
set well
it
with
used to
her.
be. They've changed it again, and now I can handle it. But there for a while, and I remember them doing it because they had like a whole campaign about like, well, we changed our grease to this and all this, and it's like, and then I instantly just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but again, mostly it's like, okay, this trip we were just on, that's the first time I've ate like McDonald's or Wendy's, fast food. And well, the last time we traveled, I'm not counting going up to like Japan and stuff there.
Yeah.
For some reason, that kind of food, not that it's much healthier, it's just it's the way it's prepared. But
Yeah.
since Christmas time, so like that's why I don't. And Katie says I must be missing that craving, because I don't crave even the foods I really like ethnic foods that that I really enjoy. I don't just like sit up and like, oh my god, I gotta have this taste. And so it's like with fast food, I guess people crave McDonald's or they crave Wendy's or whatever their choice one is. Carl's Jr. Doesn't matter. I just don't ever. I don't ever crave it.
Yeah.
It's funny because like the folks in my office, usually if we get together and go out, they always want to get poke bowls. Probably not. I wasn't familiar until several months ago, but it's good. It's like a build your own like rice bowl. It's a Hawaiian thing. So rice bowl, you can have all different kinds of things in it. Common things are some kind of protein. Either I think they do chicken, but it's mostly some kind of a fish. So salmon, tuna, raw or cooked and spicy and this and that. Sauce on it. Different types of dry seaweed or a fresh type. Just it's a like if you like California rolls or kind of like you'll like poke. Don't you probably won't. But anyway, the office gals just crave it. Oh, I've been thinking about poke, and you can just tell they're like their their mood just changes. Like I mean, it's like a I'm like it's good. I definitely enjoy it, but I'm not like I don't know. I don't get euphoric. They almost get euphoric, and it's like I'm.
Yeah.
I just I don't don't get that way about really any item. So I don't
Yeah.
really even know. Yes, that's the thing. That's why fast food is like I can if I never ate any of the fast food chains, including Runza, the rest of my life I wouldn't. I really wouldn't miss it. I mean, it's that I'm that indifferent, and
Yeah.
actually especially most chain sit down, be indifferent about. Yeah, I like red rock. I like bonefish and comes to mind, but there's others. But Texas Roadhouse, But again, if I never ate their food, and I probably wouldn't miss it. Now, Thai, Chinese, Vietnamese, uh, rice noodle, Ethiopian, Indian, all the ethnic stuff, even including Mexican. I get the like the shrimp soup. I don't get saladas or burritos or street taquitos or that. I get the well, it's a good restaurant if they have the fish soup or shrimp soup because that's more authentic. Authentic. If
I'm
anything,
picking up where you left off,
I sort of crave
just
those
so you
things.
know.
Hell, even Culver's. There's one close by from it. It's stuff I can have there. I can't have their ice cream over there for, but um, it's good. But I don't crave it. Crave it.
I don't really have a. We have a Culver's in Kearney. I don't really crave Culver's. I mean, it like you said, it's good, but it's like I don't really like. Oh man, I gotta have Culver's tonight.
Right, but people do. I mean, and I mean, even if I mean, and take out the money portion of it, even if money was no object, I still wouldn't eat fast food or choose fast food if somebody said, "Where do you want to go?"
You got to go to your. You
Trying to
needed to
find
go
where
the
I
other
left a
direction.
strip and I can't remember where
I
the
know. I told you I started picking it
Oh,
up.
you
You're
picked it
going the
up.
wrong
Okay.
direction. Yeah.
Did you get it all?
No, there's a little bit left on that
Oh, okay. I think
edge.
thing
Yeah, now
loaded
you're
in
going the
did.
right direction.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You weren't even loaded in, so I was like, wait a minute. I couldn't remember where I left it.
Yeah. Well, when I'm really on my I don't use the term diet. It's more of like changing the way that I eat, dietary habits, not an actual diet.
Yeah.
I I don't have the cravings for McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that anymore. To get away from that stuff.
Yeah. And when I say that, I just crave it. I'm not being like, oh, I'm clearer than now. I literally don't
Yeah, no, I
crave
get it.
it. Any really any that matter. Even like the ethnic food, I don't get that much. Yeah, sometimes it will kind of pop into my head. I'm like, nice, but then the hassle of like some of them are kid or chore to make. I mean, we make a lot at home. I think Katie's gotten good at replicating, and even I get in on that action too. So, we'll just make it at home when we have all kinds of stuff. And I know it's a little different you do, but changes it a bit. But it's very rare that I will say, "Oh, I really feel like this." And when that does happen, it's never again any one of the fast food, and it's rarely any one of the normal like chain, like American kind of chain restaurant.
Hmm.
I guess a lot of it again, but it's if I crave anything, it's some kind of local. I mean, even like the Mexican restaurant family. Actually, it's the one close by the house, and partly because kids sucker. I mean, he just has mac and cheese there, but I think he likes the atmosphere. See everything. They got this. I don't know even how to describe it, but it's like a little diorama around the perimeter of the restaurant with little cars and other like kind of little Mexican American
Yeah.
to round out the atmosphere. And it's nice because it's one we can. And they have the Mexicans. Um.
All right. You're gonna want to flip to vehicles, and you'll see what you're gonna get
Oh,
into when
okay.
you flip
Big.
over
I'm in
to it.
a big button with the elevator. Okay. But which?
I'm coming. I got to get mine.
Oh, there you are in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Friday night, and well, I technically tomorrow, but till later morning. I got it. Got gonna swap out the four roosters as chicks. They were supposed to have been sexed, but I guess they were really wrong. But the guy's gonna, yeah. So I got four roosters and two hens out of the six, and guy offered to swap, but I gotta go. And it's about.
uh,
But I'm not gonna get four of the same breed we already got. I might get one or two, and then
we're gonna do this field.
Okay.
I'll start on the other end. If you want to start on this end, I
Yep.
don't care.
Okay. Cool.
See, you're doing that early.
Yeah, I gotta meet him at 10 o'clock, so I'll have to leave.
Uh,
He lives kind of in the sticks outside of a town called Elizabeth. Meet him
yeah,
in
I've
town.
heard of it.
It's a town about like say well, I don't know the population, but based on what it has for amenities, about like Holton.
Yeah.
But it's not too actually it's outside of town, but it's out in where the plains kind of start. Yes, but south and east. So like your head towards Colorado Springs.
Oh,
Anyway, meet him at Big R, which is like porcelain.
I see.
I just got some big boxes that I'll put them in. They'll ride in the back of the pickup, and then I got an actual carrier. Great. Got the boxes, so like I can just hand in the box. Go with them
Yeah. Yeah.
because we got them when they were 6 to 8. They weren't chicks enough to have be eaten land. We didn't want to. I did that. Maybe another time, but
Yeah.
some that were kind of really ready to just start eating.
Well, then they really screwed up sexing them
Yeah, I know. That's the
if they
thing.
were that old.
Yeah, they were. Well, more. No, they weren't 8 weeks. They're more like 6 weeks. Yeah, yeah. But they were young enough. I couldn't tell just looking at
Oh,
it. So long. Chicks. And we used to hatch them back in the day.
we didn't. My parents didn't, but my grandparents did, and so I've been around them.
I mean, that's when I
Um,
was little, kind of
been
little,
around
but
all
I
that stuff.
remember that. And then later we just would buy the chicks, and had used to be
Yeah.
next to the big shop there, Bruder House, but it was just a separate building just for chicks, and we'd get 70 of the time.
Uh huh.
They got big enough
Yeah.
to out either just out to roam, but then we were losing too many to coons and stuff, and
Yeah.
if we didn't get them in, that so then we kind of made it. Then we just
Oh, I take that back. We did have chickens when I was really little. My parents did, but my grandparents had them longer than my parents. Cause speaking of the coops, I remember having a coop on our first place that we had. I remember them.
anyway. I mean, these roosters, they're really nice looking birds, though. These that might be partly because there's so few of them. They're not picking each other up.
Yeah.
Well, and we used to eggs, but then we And that was more when great used to butcher and put up meat birds.
Yeah.
Lopping the heads off, and then we had a I call it a plucker, but basically a drum with rubber fingers on.
Yeah.
I would be sitting at a table that's all outside and pressing them, cutting them up. But
Yeah.
again, after he died, we worked to set up, and of course and then by
Yeah.
that time kids were doing activities, things, other extra. So we just have the chickens for eggs.
Yeah.
We got so many eggs, we're having a hard time giving them away. But these that we're getting and the cat to have should start laying here in a couple of weeks. Eggs are
Yeah.
What'd you just buy for $4 million?
I didn't buy anything. I put 5 million in so that I could afford the big buds without any budget restraints.
Well,
And the
it just
implement.
plopped up and said negative $4 million.
Yeah, and then I was like, I didn't want it to stay that high. I don't know why. I just didn't want to. So I deducted what I didn't use. We'll have another when it comes to that time of the year, we'll do another truck hauling
Okay.
session.
Well,
But
maybe
we're
when
gonna do it'll be a little bit easier than the last one because I'll uh I'll make sure that I get something that's a bit easier for us to run. Um Actually it might be able to there might be a mod that I might want to use. But either way, it'll be easier to run next time, and
yeah,
um
maybe get
shouldn't be
Derek in
shouldn't
on.
be so hard. Shouldn't be so hard even if Derek's with us to get to it, because I think there's only one sell point in this place. So I learned from the last time, so we'll make it easier.
See now, kind of made me think I was watching traffic go. Person who posted about, oh, I wish see another across the field, whatever. Like, well, other than hit of traffic, which is kind of a lot considering where we're supposed to be at in real life, but it's like you're probably not gonna. I mean, in real life, you're not gonna just see neighbor in his tractor that's out in his field at the same time. You might drive by him, but that's about coming and going. But that's like it.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, post didn't say it, but it was basically saying it's like, it's too almost desolate because it's just, especially when not even you doing it, and it's just yourself. You see nothing else moving around you, and like, well, that's pretty much the way it is. I mean, they've even
Yeah.
added the birds flying up out of the field. I mean, that happens, you know,
Yeah.
here and unless they're talking about like the Euro map, where that might be a little more fields are smaller, closer together.
No,
Not as many, not as many like corporate. A different guy owns a little plot.
yeah.
So I guess I could see that if see anything.
I guess it could either be that or it was like what we originally thought, which is it was kind of a more city kid. Maybe his grandpa farmed and he kind of got into this game because
Heard the
grandpa
stories.
farmed or something, and and then he started doing this, and then he is like, "But there's no one out there."
Or maybe thinking
Yeah, I
other game, like other games like open world kind of type games. You got people if you're on a server multiplayer, you got however many 25 people in a map at the time you're gonna in something. Well, that's
yeah,
I mean, not that you probably can't do the same kind of thing. Like think of Fortnite when you're playing the whatever it's called, where going in a big deal, seeing everybody. I suppose you can.
actually I don't. I mean, it's not the or at least the way I play it, because I like if you get in if you get into places where there's a lot of people, you that's more of a chance of you dying
Well, right, but like this, I don't know if
until later
I
in the
don't know
match.
if
So,
people have servers where they just like let whatever the max is, 5 or
oh,
whatever
there are.
people. But again, that's I mean, yeah, I'm sure there is, but that's probably in a game like this, it's probably like not the norm. So it's like unless you get into one, pop into one of those, yeah, you're just not gonna see anybody else driving around on the same map as you.
Yeah.
And again, that's more like real life because you're
Yeah, no, I can't think of a time where you saw another tractor in the next field. And if you did, you'd only see them for like maybe 2 or 3 passes, and then they were moved. They've moved along in their field enough. They're over the hill and or in a draw or something, and you
well,
just don't see them anymore.
exactly, yeah. But usually when you saw your quote neighbor, it's they're driving by going to check their cows or somewhere
Yeah.
else,
Yep.
or they're done with that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just struck me odd because it's like that's this is literally again there's inaccuracy in the game, but for a game it hits most everything pretty on the nose and still make it pick up and playable.
Yeah.
The average person or even like me where I'm newbie, but I'm not into the full on management sim.
Yeah.
And maybe if I was single, it's possible I'd get more into how you play sometimes where like okay, I got a goal I've set for myself. For me, I don't care what we're doing.
I don't really set goals. I'm more of a I'm more of a that's why I always flip maps. I'm more of a I like to see different fields and different places and like that's why I get tired of a map after 2 weeks and be like, well, I want to go do something else because I've already seen maybe not seen everything this map had to offer, but I want to see a different place.
Yeah. Well, and like some people, you don't get into it, but the whole role play thing. Yeah, I'm gonna start with nothing. I'm only gonna start with X amount, and then build it,
Well,
build in,
I've
build it
I've
into
kind of
something.
gotten into that here in the last probably year.
But like where I
There's
am
been a
at,
couple of there's been a couple of maps where I've kind of started with nothing and where I started with a little, like small equipment and stuff.
yeah. Well, and like I get it. I'm just not in that headspace. I'm not. I don't have that time either to do it.
Yeah. Here lately, though, the last few weeks, I've been more of like, you know what? It's like I don't have the because that's my thing. That's the reason why I don't usually play that way is because I to dead eat have to dedicate a lot of time if you're going to build a farm like that, and I don't have that kind of time. So like the last few weeks, it's been more about like, well, why don't I just let's just forget about starting with the bare minimum because if I do that, then that's another problem. That's another map killer for me if I'm trying to do it because after it takes so long to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, let's just
But I'm wondering if
go
a
ahead
lot
and
of
get the chickens
those
and get into
players come from the like uh maybe like World of Warcraft kind of worlds games where you just grinding away to level up your character
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like
Some of them do, not all of them,
yeah
but
no
some of them do.
I get
Yes.
it but again like I just like doing what we're doing here um
Yeah.
uh and I did like the whiskey getting to go okay now we're for the distillery or we're able to haul it there and that was the goal I guess.
Are you gonna get that last little strip?
I will turn around and go get that and then
Okay.
yeah I just wasn't
Yeah.
quite I wasn't quite wide enough to get it all.
Yeah. No, I know you weren't. Um. Yeah. No. It's if and if we were to, I had thought about doing that map again, but if we did it, I'd we wouldn't have the same farm. Um, we'd actually since we're doing the whiskey, we'd buy the fields that are down there by the whiskey plant, which would actually probably be a little bit better because then we wouldn't be playing that big field all the time.
Yeah.
I'd grab 3 or 4 fields down there. It wouldn't be so bad.
And again, in that group, I mostly just lurk, but I started I occasionally make posts here and there, but I usually comment on kind of friendly banter, I guess. And then that's again, I got a little inspired by that YouTube channel that I found
Yeah.
with a NPC thing, and I was like, I thought, okay, I'll I'll see if I could kind of emulate that what they were doing there, but it's like, yeah, farm sim. Like, okay, we play that. All right. And the characters look kind of, when we're sitting there looking at each other at the end of the game or the or end of our stream. Uh I'm like, all right, I could do that. It's so unnatural, and especially when I've used mods and they're sitting in like open station tractors and stuff. They're just uh like they look silly. Oh, hey, Ronnie Gold. Um, came from the Facebook group. Yeah, chatting. Welcome. I mean,
just in time.
yeah, just in time. I mean, we're probably going to wrap it up once we get this little bit done here. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
but I mean, just in time because you were just talking about that
Well,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. He commented in the Facebook group and gonna hop in, and had some few other people in. I'll even lead with the question. You were asking something about streaming, and you had questions. So post whatever it is you wanted. We'll try to answer it. That's me, the fellow. Okay, you had commented. Yeah, you had a 4020. Oh, yep. I recognize you. Deal. This is my main YouTube channel. I'm also live on Twitch right now, too. Normally, we do this streaming on my second channel. Usually, my main channel, I keep for my motorcycle restorations, motorcycle how-to, and automotive stuff. But I occasionally do this kind of thing. We do this about weekly. Kind of, it's like our podcast. We talk about anything on our minds, or just
Yeah. Last time we were talking about socks and tattoos. I mean, we
yeah,
cover a wide range of
yeah.
stuff.
Well, we loosely call it the Shifting Gears podcast because we we shift a lot of topics. We shift a lot of gears, and sometimes we're jamming them. So jamming those gears through. So anyway, yeah, I had a question about. I had mentioned that
I
you. I had mentioned that you, Chris, you a little different than I do.
yeah, I use Streamlabs. I don't know why it would be glitching because I've been using it for, gosh.
Two
Well,
years, 3 years.
I've had the PC for what, about 2 years now, so 2.5 years. So I've been using Streamlabs for about 2.5 years now.
And and let me put
Um,
some
so I
context
guess
in that.
what do you mean by glitching?
Yeah, and let
What's
me put
it
some
doing?
context. You've been those 2 years. I mean, you started from zero. You'd never streamed before. You didn't know. And
No.
I did a very basic like setup for kind of, but
Yeah.
you've taken over and you do things that I don't do as far as chat bots and yeah. Um, I don't know what should be glitching. I just use the straight, I guess you'd say maybe stock OBS program. I do have a couple of plugin things, but I don't. I don't have all the fancy bells and whistles that Labs does. But yeah, maybe you need an up. Has there been a recent update to the Streamlabs? I know
Um.
OBS has had a
Yeah.
couple of recent
It
updates.
updated. Mine updated this last week.
As a matter of fact, there's an update I need to do, but I didn't do it before this because I didn't know how long it takes. So I was like,
Well, you know what I found that the one you use, because you use the same thing that Casual and them do. Your guys' update like 10 times more than what Streamlabs does.
well, yeah, but this is the as I understand it, OBS is kind of the OG and it's what Streamlabs is built on.
Hmm. Just
Okay, it says as a person watching stream, you can hear audio, but the video quality is okay. I'm sure it's your settings. I'll kind of chime in, and then you can chime in. What I think it is maybe your bit rate is set either way too low or way too high. That's gonna, as far as how high you can go, is gonna be highly dependent on the quality of your internet connection, your upload speed, not download speed. And I'll say if you're with Comcast or Xfinity, it is, um, I know they have advertised crazy download speeds, but the upload is way less than download. And get HD content or just regular HD, you need to be doing, I forget the exact bit rate, but for example, I am running, I actually have it up so I can bit rate, but I have I am pumping out about 5,500 kilobytes per second. I mean, it varies, but um, my total or upload speed, my internet connection is 10 megabits per second. So, I mean, I could probably go a little higher, but you got to allow for some overhead because my upload speed, even though it says I can get that, it can't sustain that for long periods of time. So, probably, so it's, like my probably good steady upload is probably 8 megabits per second. So, that's
One,
why I have to,
once you fold up your disc and
that's what
then
I'm doing.
or a cultivator and then follow me. Since we're talking, we can bust up this little one in about 10,
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes.
Great catty corner there. I see you.
No, not catty corner. Actually, we're gonna go up the road a little bit
Okay, I'm following you.
on the other side of the hayfield.
Let's see, you averaged
It's
120
smaller.
down and 30 up. Well, okay, well, and it also matters though who else is again using using bandwidth as well. If you want to really monitor it and really know real, download a little app called Glasswire, and that will show you in real time what's using your bandwidth. So I mean, if you got security cameras or you got other Internet of Things, see, I don't have a lot of that. They're always using a little of that, and then of course ping times, and that's going to be based on what server you're pinging. I'd check what the bit rates are set. Either it's set too low or set way too high, and you don't have enough overhead. But if your plan says you can get like 30, you should be fine. But I guess it depends. Probably a lot on that latency ping time.
That's all right. I didn't tell you to stop either.
Well, I saw you open it up.
But
It's like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. And you brought up that if other people are on it, because when my sister was here, she's got her phone hooked up to it, and I instantly noticed a problem with any kind of streaming
I forget what.
or anything like if I'm playing Fortnite, which is needing more of a dedicated internet connection.
Okay. And to be honest, the glass wire. The only reason I know about that is actually Linus Tech Tips. Um, and I've tried it and used it. It's neat. It can be used as a, you're just gonna get the free deal. You don't get the full options, but it'll be enough to watch what what is running on what is running on in the background on your network and stuff. So, um, but I'd start with the what bit rate, and again, not familiar with Streamlabs, so I don't know where it is in the settings. I know where it is in OBS, but it's probably there somewhere, and I would tweak it. There's tons of YouTube videos on it, so you might, and I'm sure you've already done some of that.
I have tweaked mine. Um, where was that?
Now, another thing I guess could be uh thinking about it is and I just made an assumption.
I tweaked my bit rate. That's what I tweaked.
Yeah.
Um,
I think stock or standard or just the regular default is probably like 3200, which is should be
no,
which
mine was set at like my bit rate was set at like 2500, and I kicked it up to because we went through this. We found out that my stream was or my internet could handle more, so we kicked it up.
well, but I mean the whole deal is the more bit rate you can pump to YouTube
Oh
or
yeah.
Twitch,
Okay,
better.
it's under settings, and then it's under output.
Also another thing that
And then you'll see bit rate. And like I said, when I first started streaming, I was running 25, and then
yes, the bitrate settings in
yeah,
Streamlabs.
it's in Streamlabs itself.
And the other thing is though you can go too high. So let's say you can
Yeah,
do a
no, that's what I was saying. I did some testing to see. I can't remember what we said. Because you had me check something,
yeah, I'm trying to
and
think,
then
but I'm
see
also
if my
saying
internet could support it more.
just because, but also there is such thing as too high because then it affects the viewer. Can't some viewers just can't download or receive it as fast, so
Yeah,
so like for example, it support 10,000, 20,000 kilobits per second doesn't mean your viewers can receive it that quickly. So they're going to see some buffering on their end because they can't receive it that quick. So it's
thank
kind of
you
a
for the follow.
yeah, it's kind of a balance. Another thing,
Yeah,
I
it
and then Streamlabs I don't know has a setting in I'd have to go into OBS because but there's settings for how much you, and it depends on what your setup is and everything, but how much to render or process process this stream. How much are you uh how much are you taxing this either the CPU or GPU depending on codec and all that stuff. You're going to want to watch a YouTube video on that. Now in OBS it's setting.
it's the same. His Twitch is the junk man
Oh, it's
on
the Junkman
Twitch.
ADV, short for
Oh,
adventures. But yeah, the Junkman ADV. Yeah, the Junkman was already taken on Twitch, so that's I got set up on there back in.
you know what? I think if I remember right, where I checked my settings was the email that I got from. It was either Twitch or Restream, because at the bottom of it is where
Hey, cool. Thanks for that.
it told me, and I decided to kick it up and see how it streamed. Because like I said, I remember it being at like 25,000, and I kicked it up to like 30,000.
Right.
And I kind of think it was I think I was having the same kind of a similar problem where it was like it would lose frames or something every
Yeah.
once in a
I
while.
mean, actually, I can see mine running here in the background, so I can see how long I've been live and how much CPU is being used. My bit rate's kicking out, and then it does count drop frames, then has it a percentage of time we've spent.
What are you streaming on, Ronnie?
Yeah, yeah. What are you?
What platform do you use to stream to, or
Twitch, or are you doing YouTube or Kick or?
YouTube? Kick doesn't even give me
Well, that's
doesn't even
true.
give me the email.
Well, I don't think
But
they're sophisticated.
Restream and Twitch do give me the emails.
Yeah. Well, and you
And
can
it
see
was
it the
that.
back. You can see it the back end of and Twitch. See what now I'm watching my drop frames live, and so far this whole 2 hours, I've dropped none. Usually it dropped. There's been 100 over an hour and a half, which is not nothing. you know.
Um,
Okay.
well,
Okay. So you're streaming to
on YouTube.
Facebook sometimes, and
Well,
what
he
and
said
YouTube.
it's YouTube and Facebook.
Well, I'll tell you something about Facebook, and I rarely stream Facebook part. They want you. My public page, it's it's crap. Patient's terrible. Facebook is terrible. Just their back end and stuff and servers or something is always terrible. I first streamed back there back 2015 or something, and it was just hot garbage compared to YouTube, Twitch. So, and I mostly did YouTube. I mostly do. Only been doing Twitch recently, but that might be just part. That might be more of a Facebook thing. And
Yeah, but if he did it a few years ago, because I don't see a problem when I use it. I don't have a
well,
public
when I
account,
say a
but
problem, I've done it recently, and I've rewatched my, and I'll just tell you now, it's not glitchy or anything. It's not unwatchable, but it is not the same quality. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not the same quality. It looks better on YouTube and Twitch.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I guess I would maybe look to see what your bit rate is on Streamlabs, and
And then, well, okay, so you've upgrades from.
if it was like mine, because I think mine was set at 2500 from the factory, so to speak. Not really, but I mean, yeah. Try kicking it up to
That
3000 and see what
okay.
happens,
If it's
because I had
2500,
this I had to
that's
because
it.
I had the same problem. It would just throw frames out. They
No,
would
that's
just skip and not be there.
yep, that's it. And that's why. And again,
Just
YouTube, if you watch it live, like your back end, now we use both of us are using Restream right now, but I used to when I got started, I would be exclusively on YouTube, and I'd be watching the back end YouTube, the stream health and stuff, and sometimes. And this is also when I had a crummier upload. It's not better, but now obviously, but partly when I was learning all this stuff, uh, I noticed YouTube was giving me notifications live in real time saying, "Hey, we're not receiving enough data," and that was causing a bad viewing experience. So yeah, and 2500, I forget. There's articles around that they'll tell you roughly the bit rates you need for like 2500 is only going to give you like maybe 720. 1080p needs something like 4000. So yeah, that is probably your trouble. I mean, yeah, it could be Streamlabs is struggling to render with setup, but you said just kind of upgrading. But again, I stream like when I'm streaming from my garage, not games. So I'm not trying to run a game and stream. I'm just running the streaming software. But my garage PC, I'm streaming that kind of stuff. Um, uh, it doesn't require that baller of a system. I'm running on a it's like a second gen Core i9 DDR3 RAM, like I got it 16 gigabytes, and I get what its RAM speed is, but it's DDR3, and and I have a graphics card I have in there is a GTX 750 Ti. So I mean that's like a year old graphics card now or something. Yeah, maybe it's a little newer than that, but again, old stuff. It's my junkyard piece, and I can pump out stream this quality, um, running our Halloween stream. Saw how I run it. I'm running 2 monitors off that. I'm running uh input because we were doing Atari gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had two. Well, no, we only had the one camera, but I sometimes run 2 web cameras at the same time, and that basically call it a 10-year-old piece can run OBS just fine. I think it's your bit rate is going to help here. Stream latency, well, that's
Preset. Well, I was trying to figure out what the preset and the
yeah.
profile was too.
You have 2x16. Okay, that's good. RX 590. That should be that plenty to run the game and Streamlabs. You're good enough on it. I'm running a second gen Ryzen 2600X and a GTX 66 gig. So I'm not running a banging system here either. I mean, it's what did I do? I built this back in 2019, so an idea how running the game just fine. I got running the game on high pre. Let's see, it's right under the bit rate. Yeah, I don't know. In Streamlabs, that's not an OBS that I.
I'm not seeing it. Because I'm looking.
See. Like I said, you would know better than me, but let me. I don't think OBS. I'm doing X264 codec, which of course now OBS a AC1.
Oh, profile. I found the profile. It's mine is set to none. Preset.
Is the stream latency basically the delay? So like self stuff, because that is that I have set up. That's just normal slow.
Yeah, my profile is set to none. I do not see preset, and I do not see stream latency.
And I do have Streamlabs technically. I don't know. I found it. I don't know why. I found it. I found it confusing.
Okay.
Okay, you're streaming now. Well, okay. Are you on Twitch? Oh, what it looks like. Or you're on YouTube. Find your channel. So. Oh, yep. There you go. You got a sub. I have to mute. Okay. Okay. I'm watching you right now. I have you muted. Otherwise, it's gonna come through my stream and be a little hard for my viewers.
Yeah, but he said his volume was his
Well, as far
He
as what I
said
see,
his audio was good.
you're not moving around, but it looks pretty, pretty okay to me. I guess it's a little pixelated, but again,
Oh.
I'm I'm pumping a lot of throughput through my own internet connection, so that kind of
Well, I'm watching on my phone and it seems to be
okay.
looks fine to me.
Okay, quality set. Okay, it's auto at 720. Let me force it. Yeah, I mean looks fine to me. So that might have been your just play around with the bit rates and stuff, but it um yeah, looks all right.
Yeah, that probably
Looks
was what it
probably as
was.
good as ours are doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close you down here so you're gonna lose a viewer. Just
Oh yeah, to answer your text question, no, I don't I wasn't on Twitch tonight. I just got your I just
oh
opened up my phone and saw your text.
oh yeah.
No, I'm not on Twitch tonight.
Well, and I was a little confused because of the um because of the whole kick thing where I was seeing old chats. I was like, "Oh, great. They're in on your kick, you know."
Yeah. Oh, I'm still learning on that, but
Yeah, you know, kick is really actually kick reminds me of what Facebook and Twitch was like in earlier days in the Wild Wild West days as far as it didn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It just
well, and that's what everybody was saying. That was what was everybody was saying when they were checking it out. Is like, yeah, it's like Twitch but without the bells and whistles.
yeah, well, thanks. We could kind
Yep.
of help you out
No,
there.
no problem. Glad we could help.
Yeah, well, I told you we'd give our opinion on it, and I might after because we're gonna quit here. I might put your actually on my phone just so you get a nice. It's always kind of good to you know.
Yep, maybe we can sometime.
Yeah, you'd have to add us on. Okay. Well, oh, we're done with this, so I think I'll shut my.
Yeah, yep, so will I.
All right. Thanks you guys for watching.